welcome back to Convos with Chlo. Yay! On this edition, well, I'm back at home now. I'm not in college anymore. I officially finished my sophomore year and I am now a junior, only 2 more years away from finally completing my college degree, but that's neither here nor there. Today we are on the show with Miss Erica Cardenas. Yay! Erica is one of my favorite people, and I can't wait to be able to talk to her today. So, Miss Erica, go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a fun fact.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on your Convos with Chlo. I'm so excited to be here. I just love you to pieces. So my name is Erica Cardenas. I am a native of Phoenix, Arizona. I am a mom of three. I am a TV actress, a TV host. I am a sales rep with a global beauty brand, and I'm just an entrepreneur at heart. And so, one of the fun facts, I guess, a fun fact about me would be that I am actually also a grandma. So, a lot of people, when I tell them that, they're like, wait, what? But yeah, I am a grandmother. A lot of my friends call me Nana E, even though I don't like the word Nana, I use Lolly, but I am a grandmother to two amazing grandsons. My grandsons are 4 years old and 9 months old. So that is definitely an interesting and a fun fact about me.
Definitely interesting because you look amazing. I'm telling you. Erica has seen the very bottom, the very start of the, Miss Chloe Hiller empire that is still growing. And, she's been there since the jump. I remember she used to do my mock interviews for me when I was first doing pageants. And, she has seen the best and the worst. But I'm so glad to be able to come on with you today and talk about identifying your strengths. What does mental health mean to you?
When it comes to mental health, I believe that it's really about creating a space for yourself, a safe space for yourself. And that can look different for different people, depending, on different seasons that you're walking through, different things that you have going on in your life, whether that's mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physically, and giving yourself permission to walk in that space, to feel the things that you need to feel, to reach out to people when you need help, and to know that you definitely are not alone.
There are times where I need to set time for myself to make sure that I'm okay in the space that I have. Like my room is definitely my area.
Mhm.
My closest people know that like I'll be like, okay guys, so gonna take 20 or 30 minutes to be in my room and scroll on Pinterest. And that's like my time to reset myself. I'm also kind of an introvert at times. So being able to not talk to anybody for a little bit, be
Mhm.
able to reset sometimes, I think is really important.
And I think giving yourself permission to have that space, because sometimes, like you said, we all juggle so much. And I feel like no matter your age, especially like me as a mom,
Mhm.
I do wear a lot of hats and I am doing all the things. And so sometimes I need to give myself permission to take a step back, reset, recharge, and give myself that space that I need, that time that I need to be able to just move forward in a more healthy way, depending on what the day looks like. So
How have you transformed a challenging experience into a positive lesson and opportunity for growth?
since we're talking about mental health, I think it's important to kind of touch on this particular story. So, when I was 14 years old, I was going through a really hard time in my life, just a time of kind of, just big feelings, confusion, just some different really hard things that I was going through mentally and emotionally. And so when I was 14, I tried to take my own life. And that period of my life was so shifting in so many different ways because it really, at the time when I was walking through what I was walking through, I don't think I fully understood the the potential impact of my decision. And then I had my son at 16 years old. And so, I mean, that another was another huge challenge, I guess you could say, in my life that I walked through. So it wasn't until I got older that I would look back on some of those events, those life-changing, life-altering events in my life, and I'm like, wow, like that was big, that was really deep. And but I was able, as I got older, to start shifting some of my mindset around who I was, my purpose in life, my passions in life. And at 16, for me personally, that became my son. Like my son was literally like my everything. I had made a choice and a decision that, okay, I am going to move forward in a way where I'm going to do everything in my power to create a better life for myself, which in turn creates a better life for him.
That 13, 14, 15 is
Yeah.
always that age where you're going through a lot. I mean, you're changing, other people are
Mm.
changing, new emotions are showing their heads. And school, of course, I mean, you're 14, you're what? I think you should be a freshman in
Freshman, yeah.
freshman. And I was a sophomore in high school because I, of course, started school a little bit early. So being around a little bit of an older crowd as well
Yeah.
really impacted the way that I thought about myself and of others, of course, and the decisions that I made. But when I was 14, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So that
Mm.
was a lot for me because not only was I a freshman slash sophomore, I'd moved to a new school where I didn't know anybody at all. And of course, like my rock, because as you know, me and my mom are super tight.
Yeah.
That's my best friend right there. So
Mm.
her going through that too was also, I feel like that was one of my life altering moments in my life because, she would sit there and talk to me and say, this is the time where you're living your life to the fullest. And even though you're still not like in college and stuff like that, I want you to go out and live every day like, could be your last. Luckily, I was able to have pageantry. And of course,
Mhm.
I was also playing volleyball at the time. So that was something that I was able to go to practice and have my mind just on volleyball and not anything else in the world, have my friends. I'm really glad that I was able to have that at such a young age. So now that I look back, I can be like, you know what, even though I went through those hardships, I was able to have, XYZ. And I feel like now at 19 going through college, I'm like, you know what? It could be worse. Like that's always my focus.
Mhm.
You know what? It could be worse. I'm
Yeah.
blessed and able to wake up every day and say, you know what? I'm in school, I have my family, and we're just gonna keep moving.
Yeah, and it doesn't change, let me tell you, like, in my 40s, I'm like, you just keep moving forward, you keep,
Right.
you stay focused. I go back to permission. You give yourself permission to feel what you need to feel on that day, but you
Mhm.
don't lose sight of what you need to do for yourself and, for your family.
What type of daily practices do you perform to be able to boost your confidence in your mental health, your self-esteem?
I'm a big believer in personal development, big time. Like, I really do think that we do need to give ourselves that time, whatever that looks like, to recharge, to reset. So for me personally, like I always, I even if it's 5 minutes a day, like I take time to get into my Bible, to pray. I also like to exercise. I'm a big believer in physical movement.
Mhm.
So whether that's, taking a walk in the morning, I like to, when I drop my son off at school, I love the neighborhood, and this is me like envisioning myself in that neighborhood. And then I try to, journal. I love journaling. I love a good podcast, and just again giving myself that time and that space to recharge, reset, and do those things that are important to me.
Being able to unplug for me is probably one of the big
That's a good
putting
one.
my phone down is probably, I mean,
Oh,
somebody who's on social media 24/7, 360.
yes.
And of course, it's also a part of my future career. So not
Yeah.
only am I on my phone for school, but I'm also on my phone for, entertainment purposes as well. I mean, even if it's 10, 20 minutes a day, I think
Yeah.
that's really important. I'm a really big book reader. That is my jam. I'm a
Yes.
really good book reader. When I take care of my plants, also, I put my phone down, listen to music because I give my plants the music because I like to listen to
Oh, I love
jazz
that.
and everything. So I play jazz music for them. And so when I'm able to put my phone down and, play the music for them, I'm also to put the phone down for me as well, grab a snack, journal. I'm getting better at journaling. It's definitely a process because I feel like
Yeah.
journal one day and then next thing you know, it's 2 weeks later and I'm like, hey, forgot to
Yeah. I
completely.
know, I'm the same way, like, if
Yeah.
you look at my journal, there's, like, a gap of, like, a week. I'm like, "Okay, well, that didn't happen
Like,
last week, but I'm starting
then you're
again."
just like, okay, next day. I think being able to put everything down and uncharge and
Yeah.
unplug is also super important and pretty fun sometimes when you look up and you're like, it's,
I love that. But
yeah.
that's a good reminder because, it's fun. It's funny because I even tell my kids, I'm like, because I see them this a lot, right? All the time. And so I'm like, you guys, I'm going to create like a little box or something where like we literally, and then my son will tell me, he'll be like, well, you're always on the phone, mom. And then it's like, oh,
Oh,
like he called me out, which it's
you're
true,
like,
so it's like, yes, I love that. Like
Noah,
literally, I know Noah, like my future lawyer, he does not hold back. He will tell you
yeah.
straight up. You have to intentionally create that time for yourself too, like intentionally with intention, because it's so easy, especially I feel like in this day of age with technology, we're always go, 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 go. Everything's, in the palm of our hand. So it's like, okay, I find myself, that's such a good reminder, Chloe. I find myself like sometimes being like, dude, step back, put the phone on the table, do
Mhm.
something, and literally focus on,
Yeah.
if I have to clean, if I have to pick up, if I have to do whatever it is. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love that reminder.
Even though it's a tool of greatness and a lot of amazing things have been able to happen through this, also I
Yeah.
want to be able to live my life knowing that I can put it down and actually live. What would you say to a close friend or family member that struggles with mental health or low self-esteem?
I would say that you matter. I would say that you are worthy. No matter what you're going through, it's valid. Give yourself the attention that you need and know that your feelings are absolutely valid, but that you matter. I think that people need to be reminded of that. I think that all of us go through hardships. I don't think I know. All of us go through hardships and hard times and trials, and sometimes we just need to give people around us, especially the ones, especially our friends and family, right? Especially the people that we love and we hold most dear and near to us, we have to remind them that you matter. You are an incredible person. This world is absolutely not complete without you in it. And so that's what I would say.
When I go into schools and talk to kids, the first thing I talk about is it all starts with you.
Mm,
First thing, because of course, you know, bullying stems from somewhere. Poor
yeah.
self-esteem stems from someone or something or somewhere else. But of course, to be able to not only stop, prevent, and help other people, you have to start in here. I've just always enjoyed like being able to like see kids be like, you know what? Yeah, like she's totally right. Like I love talking to kids because kids, it starts there. And,
Yeah.
but also the important thing is also collegiate members. It does not stop when you
Mm-mm.
it does not stop and poor self-esteem does not stop. Imagine
No.
you get your diploma in high school. It does not stop. Sometimes a lot of people don't gear that stuff towards us. And I want us to be able to have a safe space where we're able to talk about that. So I think
Mhm.
it's so important. It's so, so, so important of a person of any age.
A mindset of lack or limiting beliefs, like it doesn't stop at really any age.
Mm-mm.
It knows it doesn't discriminate on age.
I
It
mean,
doesn't discriminate whatsoever. It doesn't matter who you are, like in different, I mean, you still have adult people in their 40s, 50s, 60s and beyond, who still operate from a mindset of lack or poor self-esteem or, like I said, limiting beliefs, and so you're right, it really really truly all starts with you. It
yeah.
has to.
People with low self-esteem tend to focus on their weaknesses. How do you identify your strengths as it relates to positive self-esteem?
I love this question because I feel like sometimes we can be our own worst critics. I
Absolutely.
am like a perfectionist in the way I do certain things. And I'm like, no, no, Erica, what the heck was that? So it's like, it really does start. This goes back to your other question because it really just starts with you. We all have strengths, we all have gifts, we all have talents. So
Absolutely.
instead of focusing in on the things that maybe you're not so great in, or maybe those areas that you can improve on, really focus in on those things that you really do well, that are your strengths,
Yeah.
and focus on the positive instead of focusing again on the lack.
I'm definitely a nitpicker as well. So
Mm,
we're going to work on it. But identifying your strength all starts with you in that
yeah,
mirror.
absolutely. Yeah, 1,000% agree.
Okay, last question for you.
Okay.
You could be remembered for one thing. What would it be and why?
The legacy that I'm leaving behind for the future generations, in particular my children, my grandchildren, and beyond, to never give up, never settle and never give up. And one day, whether it's my kids, my grandkids, future generations after me, or whether it's just the people that I've touched throughout and in my life, I want people to be able to look back and be like, you know what, she really taught me something, whatever that is. She really showed me what it is to be courageous.
Yeah.
She really showed me in her life and in her actions what it is to be kind, to be compassionate, to be loving, and to not give up, no matter what happens. I think that's probably a huge part of what I would like to be most remembered for, is the way I lived my life intentionally and with purpose, and the way I inspired, and the way I, helped other people around me, in particular women. That's my soft spot, you know, soft spot. So young women of all ages, that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, and no matter what's ahead of you, know that your life is so valuable, and to keep going.
It's always a hard question for me.
Yeah,
Of course, as you know, as somebody who also wears a million hats, you're like, well, what do I want to be
yeah.
remembered for? Like pageant girl, daughter, awesome, amazing
Hmm.
daughter, you know, straight A student, No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, all the
But no,
things.
seriously though, like, you don't like scrounging for the answer is always something that comes to mind when I think of this, but also I think you hit it right on the head. Someone who lives their life with purpose and perseverance. I want to be remembered as someone who walks in the room and people are like, yeah, that's my
Yeah.
girl. Like she's out there killing it in no matter what field. In my presentation for my sorority, we had to like introduce ourselves and like be revealed, super cool thing. That's a whole nother conversation, but I
Yeah.
talked about in mine, I said, starting my own legacy, being able to start my own legacy because I'm the first person in my family to join a sorority. And that will be another hat that I'm wearing. So
Mm.
being able, once again, the future generations, because it's incredible. Like, once again, totally different conversation, but I absolutely love what they represent and what also now it represents on me as well. Something I wear on my chest, super proud, but also, being able to build my own legacy.
And it's not always about, like all the accomplishments, right? It's like people are drawn to people because they can feel your energy. They can feel your love. They can feel, and yes, you're so determined and you're so focused. And I feel like people are drawn to that because you're going places. And I think that one of the things that I love about you is, since I've known you since these last 6 years, you have always been going places, right? No matter what it is, whether it's pageantry, like we talked about, or school, or just doing so many, many things. And I feel like um, you've had such incredible role models in your life. So, incredible women who have already led the way. And so I think that that's exactly what you're doing. You're leading the way for future generations that are going to come after you.
Always been the
I'm
plan.
so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Like, not a lot of people know, but Miss Erica is also one of my other mothers that I have a million of them. Once again,
Mm.
she talked about, having incredible role models in my life, and she is one of them. Thank you so much, Miss Erica, once again for joining. I cannot wait for you to see, and I see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.